Welcome to the Carnivore Cast, a podcast focused on the carnivore diet and lifestyle, with practical advice from successful carnivores, citizen scientists, and top researchers. I'm your host, Scott Meslinski, and I'm here to speak with experts and experienced carnivores to get answers to your biggest and meatiest questions while helping you live your best life as a carnivore. If you enjoy the show, please consider supporting the Carnivore Cast on Patreon. By becoming a patron, you'll help us reach more people and continue to create content on carnivore. There are also exclusive perks available, such as private Q&As, consultations with me, and more. Become a supporter at patreon.com/carnivorecast. Check the episode description for the link. Thank you, and I'll see you there. Anya Hippert and Hans are the co-owners and co-founders of Carnivore Crisps, a 100% sustainable, delicious, and shelf-stable meat and salt snack. Hans is the creator of Carnivore Crisps and an award-winning chef who's worked exclusively with meat for over a decade. Anya is a carnivore and a doctoral student of psychology and loves working with people with eating disorders. When they are not working, Anya and Hans love spending time outdoors with their 2 kids and a Rottweiler, Guinness. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Scott. Great to be here.
Nice being here. Thank you.
Well, I have to ask you both before we get started, what's your favorite Carnivore Crisps flavor?
Oh, I have many. Well, right now, my favorite is chicken skin. I just cannot get enough of it.
I'm a brisket guy myself.
Nice.
I can't get enough of that. Brisket and the top sirloin. Those are my go-tos.
Oh, yeah. The top sirloin is amazing. I really like the brisket as well.
Nice.
What's the most popular flavor, out of curiosity?
It's probably the chicken ribeye. Ribeye is probably one of our number ones. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's because you can't beat a ribeye.
Yeah,
you
can't.
Ribeye,
it's the king. It's the king of steaks.
It is the king of steaks.
When did you both become when did you, Hans, I guess you've been working as a chef with only meat, but when did both of you become so interested in meat?
Well, I've been working with meat for like 25 years as far as just learning about the jerky and the process and perfection. And I'm just attention to detail guy. And once I get my mind set on something, I'll just, work at it until I perfect it. And so that was about 26 years ago. I mean, literally when I was like, 16 years old.
You said, I started with baseball. And he figured it out that he can make his own beef jerky.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, as a kid, you don't think about these things. You could just buy it at the store, right? So one day I went over to my buddy's friend at my buddy's house, and his dad was making some jerky. And I was like, you can make jerky? Just mind blown, right? And so I got myself, I was always like a little entrepreneur. So I used to, mow lawns. I grew up in Southern Florida, born in Wisconsin, grew up in Southern Florida, and used to mow all my neighbors' lawns. And so I always had a little side hustle, selling candy on the school bus or mowing lawns. So I bought a dehydrator, right away after I saw this, and then just started experimenting. And my first batches were, damn near inedible. We didn't have a dog at the time, so it was like I'd always choke them down. But yeah, it was just a thing of love. Jerky is just like one of those great snacks that you can, take anywhere. And it's, and then later on in life, I used to travel a lot, and it really helped me out. Being on the road in a lot of these little towns that were in the middle of nowhere and just had fast food. And I was never a fast food, I can count the decades since I've eaten fast food. And so I'd always travel with jerky and make my own, snacks and stuff like that. And so then it transformed, meeting Anya. And I never thought it would be possible to have this as a business. It was always a dream, just like, I would love to do this someday. But getting stuck in the normal rut and routine of daily life and bills and mortgage and all that stuff. And then, other other things that make it, you psych yourself out of it. And it wasn't until I met Anya and told her the story. And we actually just launched a newsletter today and telling a little bit about it. And it was on her second date that I told her that my dream. She was like, "What do you want to do?" And because I was very unhappy with what I was doing. Yeah. And so I told her, and anybody else that I told, they were like, why would you do that? That's like, laugh at me or tell me you make good money. Like, you're stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you leave a good, security and all that stuff? And she was like, you should do it. And like, just looking into her eyes, like, I just had the confidence, like, from that moment on. And it was like, hell yeah, that's what I'm going to freaking do, And, awesome. And yeah, so from that moment on, like, we were pretty much inseparable. It was like it was very slow start on, we met online, and it was, back and forth, and she was very hesitant to meet. And I get it. It's Vegas, and there's a lot of weirdos anywhere, but, so it was like a lot of talking back and forth. But once we met, and it was like, okay, like we saw the connection, and it was like, yeah. It was magic. So,
that's great. That's really nice. And for you, Anya, how did you find Carnivore? And maybe I want to get more into the company and the product as well, but I want to hear your story. What was your health and diet like beforehand?
Oh, well, honestly, mental health brought me to Carnivore. Well, first to ketogenic and diet, and then Carnivore. And it was funny because at one point, when I moved to the United States from Russia, I'm Russian born, and I'm raised in Soviet Union, where we had food stamps with very limited access to certain food groups. And when I came to America, I just, whoa, you enter into supermarket, you can buy all of that, like any kind of sweets you want, like anything. So, and of course, I lost track of things, and I gained some weight. And afterwards, one of my girlfriends, she told me, have you ever heard of this Kremlin diet? So it turned out that what we know as ketogenic diet right now, they used to use it in Soviet Union decades and decades and decades ago as a way to prepare the elite forces for the optimum performance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, health-wise and mentally as well. So, and basically she found for me that list of foods that you're supposed to eat and the list of foods that you're supposed to avoid. It was like I don't know where did she find that scratch of paper. But anyways, that's how I learned about ketogenic diet in the first place. And I loved it, honestly. For me, like, I can eat as much meat as I want. It was just wow, because I was raised mainly on potatoes. Yeah, to supplement our food, my parents, they would have a garden, where we would mainly grow. Well, it was not even a garden; it was like a farm, heavy labor, pretty much. Where we would grow a whole bunch of potatoes, and because potato is such a versatile vegetable, you can make it taste pretty much like anything. My mom, she even had those books, like 100+ recipes out of potatoes.
Wow.
Like everything, like from cakes out of potatoes to, I don't know, like potato ice cream. So anyways, and it was very natural for me to start liking ketogenic diet, once I met it. Because I started feeling different, and I was enjoying those foods so much more than what I was used to, like those potatoes and everything out of potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but story didn't stop there. So I lost the weight. I felt great. But as a job, I already moved to Vegas at that time. And the job that I had, they still wanted me to be even skinnier. And that's how I got introduced to very bad eating habits, and in particular to bulimia and bulimic behaviors. So for girls that I worked with, it was a normal thing after a meal, go to the bathroom and purge. That's how they stayed on top of their game and looking the way you're supposed to look in many industries here in Las Vegas. So slowly but surely, this very bad habit crept into my life. And at one point, it was really, really dark place where I had to take care of my mental health, like seriously. So I went through therapy, multiple months and months working through eating disorder, bulimia. And the program that I was in, that was our local state university, UNLV. I was a student there at the time. So they assign also a nutritionist. So if you have this kind of struggle, like eating disorder, they assign nutritionist to you. So you do both hand in hand, your therapy, and you talk to your nutritionist. You have your eating journal, so they can tackle it on both ends. And my nutritionist, wonderful lady, but very old school, trained on classic food pyramid. And when I would show her my food journal, she would look through it. And of course, she would notice that on most of the days, I would eat lots of meat and vegetables, pretty much ketogenic style. I still enjoyed it a lot, But when something would happen, some unexpected emotions that I couldn't handle would come up, I wouldn't just go into dark place of bulimia. So, and then she told me, look, you need to include more healthy grains, more bread. Still, candy, don't exclude it. Buy like small size, maybe Halloween size candies, and keep it at your house. Like add it more. From what I see, you don't get enough this food group, Okay, so I followed the advice. I was going through therapy. I was following her advice months and months, and things they were getting worse. It's like for me, it was step forward in therapy and 2 steps back. Step forward, 2 steps back. To the point where I didn't even feel whole at all. Something was really wrong. So, and I just decided I'll take a break from everything, from both seeing my nutritionist and from both seeing my therapist. And I started doing my own research on how things work. And then it became apparent to me that sugar is not my friend. Those Halloween-sized candies in my house, they're not my friends. Whole wheat, whole grain bread, they're not my friends, So, and then I just stick to ketogenic diet. I started eating that way. By the time Hans met me, that was the way I ate, So it's going on for a while now, right?
Yeah.
Our kids, they're already 9 and 8.
Wow.
So for me, it was going on like for forever. And of course, that brought also interest in psychology field. So I started studying and learning as much as I can about how it all works, what triggers what. And last year, I learned about carnivore diet, where you completely eliminate all, you leave only the most nutrient-dense foods and salt and water. So I went exclusively on carnivore last year, and I immediately felt the difference. Like within first 3 weeks, like maybe first couple of weeks, we would get adjusted as usual. But after 3 weeks, mood swings, they were gone completely. Wow. I felt so calm. I started feeling that carnivore zen, that people sometimes talk about. It was just great. So, and in the meanwhile, parallel to that process, we were growing our business. Originally, it was beef jerky business. So, and Hans, he had a variety of jerkies, where majority of them, they were classic beef jerkies, where used some sugar, used some other ingredients. But in comparison to other jerkies on the market, they were still the cleanest. That would be like our kids' first solid food. Yeah. Like when they would tease, you need something for them good to suck on and sort of, like massage gums. That's what we would give them. We would give them a piece of his jerky.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And they loved it. So, but with time, beef jerky business evolved as well. He saw how I eat, and he started making cleaner and cleaner products. In his line of classic beef jerkies, we already had a few flavors with no sugars added, absolutely zero carbs, no additives. Some jerkies, just meat and salt. He has that one amazing, like Brazilian style beef jerky, El Gaucho, with it's just steak and salt. and that's it. That was my go-to. I loved it so much. And so last year when I went completely carnivore, he just got new challenge that he got excited about. Okay, let me experiment and try what I can do in this area. And he developed a whole bunch of amazing flavors. I eat them daily. My kids in their lunch boxes and little Ziplocs, I portion size carnivore crisps for them.
A lot of people ask me about how to make liver more tasteful and how to cook it or incorporate other organ meats on carnivore. Optimal Carnivore can help you do just that with their grass-fed organ complex. It was created by carnivores for carnivores. They start by sourcing 100% grass-fed organ meats from New Zealand, gently freeze-drying the organs and encapsulating them into convenient bovine gelatin capsules. Just 6 of these capsules a day is the same as eating an ounce of raw organ meat. I personally take these every single day, as does my wife. Even though we both eat liver and other organ meats, our ancestors would have eaten the whole animal. And this unique blend has 9 different organs, including beef liver, brain, thymus, kidney, spleen, etc. And I think it's great to get a daily dose of these organs when you can. So it covers all your bases, whether you're at home or traveling. What's also cool is they plant a tree for every product sold, which helps the environment. So visit www.optimalcarnivore.com/carnivorecast and use the code carnivore10 to receive 10% off your purchase. Thanks, and back to the show. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That sounds incredibly difficult. But I commend you on your resilience and your ability to grow through it. It sounds like you're very persistent in overcoming both the eating disorders and finding a solution that worked for you mentally and physically.
Thank you, Scott.
And yeah, I was going to ask how you landed on the Carnivore Crisps product. You kind of answered it there, but can you talk a little bit more about formulating and manufacturing the product, Hans? How did you get to the crisps, and how are they so crispy?
Everybody wants
to know the secrets, right? It's a lot of just experience, man. That's it. Without going into trade secrets, but it's a difficult product to make. It's very labor intense, and there's a lot of attention to detail. And I didn't learn it overnight. It's like I said, I've been working with meat for 26 years, so there's a lot of little tricks that you learn over the years.
Yeah, that's cool. And how is it sourced? How do you get the meats?
We source it through NFR Beef. It's actually a sustainably sourced beef out of northern Nevada. So the owner, Dan, is a great man, and so it gets born, harvested, raised up there, and brought down to us, and we process it down here. So
that's awesome.
There is no middleman. That's what I really like about his product. It's like the minimal food miles. Kyle is born and raised in Nevada, harvested in Nevada. He's here in Nevada making it. There is no middleman. It just ships straight to people.
Yeah,
that's really cool. And what have been some of the biggest challenges in making the crisps? I've kept up close with Philip Meese over at Carnivore Bar, and they've just had every disaster you can imagine with manufacturing and approvals. And it makes me never want to create a food product. But I'm curious to hear what some of the biggest challenges on your end have been.
Honestly, Scott, there's challenges every day. It's just how you handle them. Listen, learn, be calm, and take every challenge, every negative as a positive. There's something to learn out of all of those challenges. So just learning from that and being more calm and resilient. I've always been very persistent, but it just comes with it with age and experience. I think as a younger man, I get up frustrated just like anybody else and upset. But now it's you step back and look at it from the bigger picture, and there's always something to learn. I'd say what would be one of our biggest challenges?
I would definitely say manufacturing is very challenging in itself, especially if you work with USDA, if you work with meat product. There are so many regulations. Mm-hmm. And sometimes things they would be just in hands of a person that has a bad mood
right
at the moment, and it can slow you down for months and months and months.
Yeah. People don't understand that. There's a lot of, people that just hop into it thinking that it's a quick buck. And they're going to make millions overnight and just outsourcing it to that was one of the things. I think that was our biggest challenge and our biggest win was keeping everything in-house.
Yeah.
So it's much more difficult, manufacturing and keeping all that stuff and keeping all the paperwork, the documents, the consistency, the quality, the personnel, all those different challenges you can just imagine. And as you grow, it just gets even more difficult. But, keeping it all under in-house because, we had I had jerky recipes, I've been making my own stuff over the years, and I could have called the company and said, hey, I want you to make it. But there's not the time and the care and the love that goes into the product that we put into it. Like everyone, I take it personally when I see a bag that's not up to standard, and I want my people to take it personally too. Like this is all of our livelihoods. So it's not just our family, it's 20 other families, that are counting on us. And if we're not, caring and putting that attention to detail and love into it, it's going to show, and now it's such a, connected world that all it takes is one pissed off person, to tell the world, and we're the worst company in the world or whatever, we wronged them but you understand what I'm going with, where I'm going with it. So, to put that into somebody else's hands, and it's very difficult. There's so many companies that do it now, and you can tell like which, who is actually the founder, the owners that they really care about this product, and one that's just trying to knock it out to push the numbers and make those margins and stuff like that. So I think that was our biggest hurdle, but smartest move ever was to start slow, to grow it. I mean, we're 11 years old now, so it's not that it happened overnight, and that's the other thing, everybody thinks, oh, you just, you got lucky or something like that. No. And it's still every day is a challenge. So, but if you got a good idea, not to push anybody away from their goals and dreams, is you got an idea or a dream, go for it, but go all in, don't half-ass it, that's one of the biggest things, people just go half in and we got everything riding on it. It wasn't just, it wasn't a bank loan or something like that. It was the house, the everything, the cars, the everything, So it's definitely a lot of pressure, but it's one of those things that I'm not going to fail. My mind's too strong. I'm not giving up, never giving up. So no matter what comes up my way. So anyway.
That's super impressive, and you should take a lot of pride in that. I'm curious, have you spoken at all with Robert Sykes from Keto Brick?
I haven't.
No, we supposed to. We had to reschedule a couple of times.
Oh, okay. I'll definitely introduce you if you haven't.
Yes.
Because I feel like you would connect so much because
Yes.
he completely insourced his product as well, Keto Brick. And he's had so many challenges with scaling it up and employees. And the company is very successful now, but he's had a really, really tough time with that. And he documented almost all of it on his YouTube channel, or a lot of it. But he's so obsessed, just like you are, with product quality, and wouldn't stand for outsourcing it to some packer or whatever you call it that would just put some artificial ingredients in it and certain things to certain preservatives. So I feel like you guys would very much speak the same language on that.
Nice one. Yeah, we'll have to connect.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm curious, how are you? It seems like every single person on social media who's carnivore is holding up a bag of carnivore crisps, loves the product. How are you trying to work with the carnivore community? How are you marketing the product?
One person at a time.
Honestly, it started all organic.
Mm-hmm.
Product just speaks for itself. It's literally and before Hans, he started developing exclusively carnivore products. I've tried pretty much everything out there on the market myself, And it's not because it's our company, but product speaks for itself. I haven't found an equivalent, honestly.
Yeah. It was, and then, being on Instagram, I was totally new to Instagram, and Anya is, she knows her way around it. Like she taught me some of the ropes, and I was just having fun with it, and just reached out to some people, and just speaking from the heart, or,
and people reaching out to us, let's say Meet RX community. Many coaches, they were buying from us even like before, we were sort of became known on Instagram, let's say,
That's awesome.
Just quality of product really speaks for itself. It's so easy to be known, if product is high quality.
Yeah, people love it and they share it, and that's a big reason why I keep sharing it, or the only reason. You've talked about your children and your dogs as well, and I understand there's a carnivore crisp for dogs. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we are doing carnivore dog. So
maybe at first about the model. We are 100% sustainable too.
Yes,
that's how it all started.
That's how it all started. So we've perfected the dog treats, and we've got Guinness. He was our former spokesmodel. He's a big Roddy and just big teddy bear. He's just a bundle of love. So yes, we have a carnivore dog that we're going to be launching very, very soon. So we're gonna start sending those out to our friends and getting those in everybody's hands. But like what Anya had said, it all comes back to being sustainable, using every part of the animal, not wasting anything. In the meat industry, there's a lot of waste and misuse of the product, and or different products, and we wanted to be, give that animal the respect, and use every part of it. So from the bones to the fat to the organ meats, everything gets utilized. So we're very proud of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen overnight, but that's where like my creative side really comes in, and I love to create, and I've got some great subjects with Anya and our kids, honest subjects that'll tell me, hey, if it's a win or a miss. And so yeah, we've got some great other things coming very soon.
That's great. Yeah, our dog Chewy, short for Chewbacca. Nice. She's fully carnivore. She eats raw, like tripe. We get this mix called Performance Dog Food, but it's totally raw. You freeze it in the freezer.
Cool.
It's way cheaper than all the like premium raw dog food brands that are like $30 a pound or something. This is just like $2 a pound. But it's a mix of like the tripe, the organs, liver, nice. Some trace minerals, some bone. So we feed her that for all her meals. And then we use right now Grassland Nutrition. They're out of New Zealand. They have freeze-dried kidney, liver, and heart. And so we feed her those. They're like little chunks.
What breed is that, Chewy?
She's a mini Labradoodle. She's just 27 pounds. Nice. But she like puts her nose up at human food. She's so spoiled.
Oh yeah, ours too.
We spill things on the ground and she's just like, no, not interesting.
Yeah. Don't you love that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
that's
amazing.
Great.
She knows the good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great. Really looking forward to that. And it's great that you can be creative and like have that outlet. It really shows you talking about it, how excited you get about that, Hans.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
And how about for your kids, Anya, you mentioned feeding them carnivore crisps. Do you try to make them eat a certain way, or do you try to just, include like nutrient dense meat in all their meals and make sure they fill up on the good stuff and then let them eat kind of what they want after that? Or what's kind of your approach to their nutrition?
Well, they don't even know, but pretty much every dinner in our family is a carnivore dinner. They don't even know about that. Yeah. Well, it's, as a parent, you have the power of bringing stuff inside the house, inside the pantry and the fridge. It's pretty much whatever you will stuff it with, they will eat.
Yeah.
If there is some special occasion, they go to a birthday party, I'll have them eat cake if they want. They can try and enjoy whatever they want. I don't want to,
deprive them of being a kid.
Yeah.
Because this is another, like a stick with two sides, right? one is eating disorder. So I don't want anything like that.
That seems really intelligent. Yeah, I've asked a lot of like carnivore and keto people how they feed their kids, and it seems like that's a really smart approach. Just like show them the value of like really healthy, good food, and then kind of, you know, if they're in social situations or with friends or things like that, let them try things, let them experiment. You know, a kid can have an ice cream cone, whatever, and you know they'll be eating amazing food 90% of the time, and it sounds like your kids are very lucky to have you.
And they're well, thank you. They're very active too. I mean, our daughter's in gymnastics pretty much 4 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week.
Wow.
Our son Ivan and I do jujitsu. He's there every day though.
Awesome.
So he's they're very active. So they know, like, you know, when they eat well, how they feel afterwards, and the energy level that they have. They're not stupid kids. Yeah. So but we don't want to deprive them of being a kid either, you know. So yeah.
That's
love
cool.
being a dad.
Like
do you have any kids?
No, not yet. Just the dog for now. Someday though. It sounds like they're very in tune with their bodies. I have to ask you after the interview about jujitsu. I've gone 3 times. First time I went, I broke a rib.
Oh wow.
Didn't go again for 2 years. Went to a class, just drilled, didn't roll with anyone. They asked me like 5 times, "Are you sure you don't want to roll?" I was like, "I'm good." Nothing bad happened. Next class, a week later, 2 days later, I went, sprained my pinky. Couldn't like hold anything or even bend it for at least a week. So I need to find a way to do jujitsu. I'm dying to do it. I love it. It seems like so much fun, but I can't deal with the injuries. So I need to figure that out. Stretch really well. Yeah, that's good advice.
Warm-ups are very important.
What are some of your plans for the future of the brand? If you don't mind sharing anything you're willing to say. You mentioned the carnivore dog, but anything else you're looking forward to in the future?
Yeah, we've got quite a few different offerings. We'll let you know when they're ready, but there's a lot of different things in the works. So it's very exciting time. It's good. You know, things are going to happen quickly.
Great.
And Husky always thinks about our tribe, our like keto and carnivore tribe. You know, he always tries to keep cost as low as possible with the highest quality as possible. Mm-hmm. So what he's talking about, it's something along the lines of sustainability that will bring even more amazing carnivore products to the market.
Yeah, and value. Yeah.
And value.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember. Over a year ago now, I believe I discovered Carnivore Crisps. It was before anyone had reached out to me or sent me anything. I just found it on some random website, and I was like, "Wow, why are these so cheap relative to some of the really expensive carnivore products?" And then I like looked into the quality, and I was like, "Wow, this is really great too." And I was like, "Wow, they're doing a really good job of like keeping it economical for people." And I bought like the whole variety pack for my wife because she loves to have snacks at times between meals and if she's like out traveling and stuff, and she loved all of them. And then we just kept getting more and more. So it's been a real staple for us.
Awesome. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for coming on the show. This has been really great. Great to learn more about the brand. Great to put a face to it and hear both of your stories. Where can people find out more about Carnivore Crisps? And I'll of course have links in the show notes as well. So
carnivorecrisps.com, they can sign up on the website too. And that gives, pretty much, I try to connect with everybody every couple weeks, but I'm personally writing, or Anya's writing, to our tribe. And on
Instagram too.
On Instagram as well. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
If you enjoy the show, please consider supporting the Carnivore Cast on Patreon. By becoming a patron, you'll help us reach more people and continue to create content on carnivore. There are also exclusive perks available, such as private Q&As, consultations with me, and more. Become a supporter at patreon.com/carnivorecast. Check the episode description for the link. Thank you, and I'll see you there. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Carnivore Cast. If you enjoyed this episode, please review on iTunes. It really helps us out. And share it with a friend. What questions would you like answered? Or who would you like to hear from in the carnivore research community? You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at CarnivoreCast or go to carnivorecast.com. You can also email me at info@carnivorecast.com. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep it carnivore.